Hey everyone, welcome to another ship tour. What are we doing today?
We are going to be exploring the Utopia of the Seas. It's one of the largest ships in the Royal Fleet. And we are starting from the top. And we're going to go down to the bottom. We're going to do it a little differently this time. So we are standing in front of the Royal Loft Suite. It's one of the largest suites on this ship, and then unfortunately we can only stand outside because we do not have a suite.
Yes, but let's at least show you the doorway, and all of us can just, melt with envy on this suite. So here you are. Not only do you have your main door, but it's a double protection area because you have a sliding glass door that you would have to scan, or I'm sure hit a button to allow somebody, if you're inside, to get here. And then you have your secondary door, but this entire side is for the Royal Loft Suite.
You have a nice overview here of the pool and the lime and coconut bar right there. So yeah,
over Central Park. Now if we go to the other side, so this one is the ultimate family suite. Again, we'll just stand out here and drool in envy. But it is set up for kids, a bunch of cartoon themes. It's multiple stories. They do have some slides that you can take to slide down. It is just an amazing setup.
So it also looks like on this floor is a suite sun deck and a waiting pool.
Now to get access there, you would have to scan your cards and go through the suite doors. And then this does round around to our right, and it opens up to the sun deck. All right, we're gonna head down to deck 17 and we'll catch back with you. All right, here on deck 17 aft is more suites. And this is also where you would access the coastal kitchen and the suite lounge. Now, the suite lounge is going to be for grand suites and above. Mini suites, unfortunately, do not count. And coastal kitchen is available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for grand suites and above. And it is open for dinner for mini suites as long as there is availability. Now on deck 17 forward is what is known as the patio, and this is your 13 to 17-year-old hangout zone. They have outdoor decks for them to sun. Inside they have some things to do, Xboxes, TVs, movies, things of that nature. And then also, technically on deck 18, you can access it from the other side of the ship, is the entrance to the Waterslides, which we will see when we take a look at the pool deck. All right, let's head down to deck 16.
All right, so technically we're on 15 and a half deck. It's like a half deck from 16. And this is the ultimate abyss, is on the back of the ship. And it's basically a dry slide that you can take from this deck all the way down to the boardwalk, which is deck 6.
Also on deck 16 is the Wipeout bar. So this is where you can come to get all of your
shaved
ice, as well as frozen concoctions. Important to know though, even if you have the beverage package, the shaved ice is an additional charge and not included in your beverage package. It also is not included in your diamond and above daily drinks. Also on deck 16, you'll find the Flowrider. And no, I'm not talking about the rap star with the big clock. I'm talking about the boogie board and surfing simulator. There is no cost for this. There is just a waiting line. However, if you purchase the key or if you're in suites, you do have priority access to get reservations. Also on deck 16 is your zip line. Now the zip line, you have to be at least 52 inches tall, be at least 75 pounds, and no more than 275 pounds. Unfortunately, I am not there yet. Otherwise, I would totally ride this. But again, you do have the zip line. There is no additional cost. Also on deck 16 is your outdoor sports area. You can see they have it set up for pickleball right now, but you can also do basketball. Now, right up from the basketball courts and pickleball courts is the table tennis. They have 3 different tables here for you. Now, on the other side of the ship from the basketball courts is your complimentary putt-putt golf. Now, as we continue towards the front of the ship, we are going to enter the Cantina Fresca. So this is another bar. Again, there'll be tons of them throughout the whole area to get your drink on with a Mexican flair. And then we have El Loco Fresh, which is the Mexican option, complimentary. Later in the day, you will have different salsas here for you to do your toppings for all of your tacos and burritos. Some good areas to sit down. And then as you can see here, they do have some desserts here. And this line would be set up with a variety of chicken, beef, and fish, as well as some pork. And refried beans and onions, cheese, basically everything you need to make yourself either a taco, a burrito, or loaded nachos. As we continue towards 16 forward, you'll find the arcade. So they have lots of video games, games of chance. You have some air hockey, little basketball games. And then the good thing is, parents, you can put a limit on your child's daily spending. That way they can come in here, but you don't wake up the next morning with $500 or $1,000 or $10,000 worth of video game charges. Ooh, MasterCard for a PS5. Heck yeah, thank you. All right, let's keep going. Now, also on deck 16 aft is the Social 100. So this is also part of Patio for 13 to 17-year-olds. Again, the hangout zone for them. All right, continuing, we are at midships now on deck 16. So this overlooks the pool deck on 15. Basically on this level, you have a lot of chairs. There are hot tubs up here that overlook the lower pool deck. Now these day beds right here are complimentary, good to go. And then you have these little Castillas. These do cost extra. Port days are cheaper, sea days super expensive. They're several $100s, but should you wish to have a dedicated space up here on deck 16 overlooking the pool and activities, you can rent them. And we are overlooking deck 15, splashaway bay for the kids on this side, open pool on the other side. And right in front of us are the water slides. You access those, as we talked about earlier, from deck 18, and they take you down 2 decks. All right, let's keep going. All right, so on deck 16 is one of your specialty restaurants, Hooked. And Hooked specializes in seafood. We did eat on here when we went to the Wonder, and it was probably the best meal we had. So let's go take a quick look at the interior. So as you can see here, Hooked has a nautical theme with the wood and the blue backing of the chairs. Gives it a nice, cool little, ocean feel. It is also located just above the Solarium Bistro, which is on deck 15, and we'll take a look at that when we get down to the lower decks. But lots of open space here, a lot of open glass. There is access on both the left and right once you're done eating to get outside. But here you go, hooked. All right, so here on the aft of deck 15 is the Windjammer Marketplace. Windjammer is actually split in the center, and it looks down on the boardwalk. So you do have a place to sit here in the back. And again, both sides are going to have the same setups as far as food options go. Again, as we've seen before, they do have new dispenser options. No need to press a button or anything like that. You just put your cup underneath, hold your hand. Let's actually show you. And then hold your hand in front of the sensor. And then we'll let go, and you have your drink. Plenty of seating here. Here's a little secret. We are on the port side, left for those who don't speak nautical. This little alcove here, you see that right there? Right there? That is hidden strawberry ice cream. Yep, they actually have ice cream that they will scoop for you that is complimentary during the lunch hour. As you can see here, lots of tables, lots of buffet area broken up with yogurts and fruit. You have your meats and potatoes, you have eggs, you have cheese. They have omelet stations. Just a large amount of food and variety of food. Also inside the Windjammer is this thirst quencher area. This is also where you can get specialty coffee. So it's not only down on the promenade, you can still get your Starbucks, mochachinos, and all of that up here in the Windjammer. Next up, right outside of the Windjammer, is the Mason Jar. So this is a specialty restaurant that specializes in Southern cooking. They also have live bands at night, and again, it is a small upcharge. If you go here, you have to have the no joke smoke and Coke. It is a whiskey trace bourbon with Coke, and they actually have smoke inside the Mason Jar that infuses the whiskey with that smoky flavor. Amazing. Also, this is the only place for you to get bourbon pecan ice cream and peach ice cream. So make a stop at the Mason Jar. All right, we are midship now, and welcome to the main pool deck. So on this side, we have a regular pool with a lot of sun chairs in the water. Right across the way is a secondary pool. So you do have two sides here. This is also where you can get the spare tire, which is like a food truck setup. So the center of deck 15 looks down on Central Park. And also you have a 2-story lime and coconut bar, one down here on deck 15 and the other one on the other side up on deck 16. I highly recommend Black Kraken rum, especially in all of your frozen rum daiquiris like pina coladas and strawberry daiquiris and mango daiquiris. And if you go to Karaoke or Labadee, ask for the Labadoozy in Labadee and the Coco Loco at Karaoke with Black Kraken rum. It's their mango, passion fruit, pineapple frozen drink. Don't tell anyone, it's the same drink at both locations, just call it something different. So there you go, the pool deck. Splashaway bay and 3 pools and a landing zone for your water slides. Now, right before we get to the Solarium is the Vue Bar. As you can see, you get a nice view. It sticks out over the side of the ship and lets you enjoy the ocean. Several areas to sit, whether it's a high top table or a low top with comfy chairs. Bartenders will help with all of your needs. Also on deck 15 is the Solarium Bistro. This is a alternate casualty dining area, very similar to the Windjammer. A lot of people go up there and don't know that you can actually get the same fare down here in the Solarium Bistro. As you can see, they are set up still for breakfast. Got your eggs, your pancakes, and a nice view of the adult-only solarium. And there are setups on both sides. In addition, the center area is where they do the chef's table, which is the elevated dining experience. You have a 7-course meal, and the chef will talk about each pairing, and then a sommelier will pair it with wine. Very, very elevated experience. All right, let's keep on moving. All right, right outside from the Solarium Bistro is the Solarium. So this is your adult-only location, and on Royal Caribbean, adults are considered 18 and over. You do have multiple hot tubs that overlook a central pool that then overlooks a lower, I don't even know what it's called, like a wet zone sun deck kind of setup. So here's the pool. So you can see little figure 8 shape, and then it overlooks the bottom where you have kind of a wading pool, if you will, on both sides. And I know this is just an overall ship tour, but my opinion is I honestly don't like the pool setup here. As you can see, there's tons of space available down here, and that's because there's hardly any water and everyone crowds into the single pool up here. I really wish they would have made more of an actual completely submersive pool area for the adults versus the one small area they do have. That's the only drawback. I absolutely love the multi-tier setup though, especially with the skylights and all of the floor-to-ceiling glass. It really is a cool place to come hang out. I just wish there was more of a cold pool option, so to say, for adults. Now there is one more infinity hot tub that we're gonna take a look. That's one of my favorite places to hang out because it overlooks the side of the boat. Let's go take a look. And here we are at the infinity hot tub. So as you can see here, big open space, multiple sides that extends out over the side of the ship with floor-to-ceiling glass. It's really cool when you're out there at sea and you just look over and see the ocean. Next up, we have both the Royal Escape Room and Ocean Adventure, which is the kids program. We won't be able to see a lot in here, but we'll at least give you a quick highlight. So the escape room is an extra cost and you can sign up. You can look at your Royal Caribbean app. I believe it's $31 a person. This one is called Escape U, as in Escape University. Now, as you walk in on the right-hand side, you have the arena, which is 6 to 12-year-olds, as well as Hangout. So 2 different names, same area. Again, 6 to 12-year-olds. And then down to our left, we're gonna have the babies, play place, juniors, workshops, and some theaters. So we'll do a quick walk down this way. So here are where your little ones from 6 months to 36 months can hang out. You have your workshop. This is where they do a lot of artwork. They have some foosball areas. Again, a lot of things that will keep the little ones entertained. And then you have the play place, which is a little playground for the little ones. And then you have the juniors, which are 3 to 5 year olds. And the theater, where they'll do little shows that are oriented towards your kids. Now, a big question that is asked on a regular basis when it comes to the kid clubs, no, you cannot mix ages. Even if you have a year apart or you're 3 months from being at the age to be able to go into the upper room, they base it at sailing date, whatever the age of your child is. So even if they, quote, grow up and have a birthday while on the cruise, it's still going to be whatever their age was the day the ship left the home port.
All right, decks through 9 through 12 are mainly staterooms, but we are going to highlight 2 venues, the Music Hall and Giovanni's.
Nestled at the aft of the ship on deck 12 is Giovanni's Italian Kitchen. Now this is a Italian cuisine. It is different than Giovanni's Italian Table, which is on most of the other ships. It's a slightly different menu is what you're going to experience. There are some similarities, but there are definitely some differences. Like this Giovanni's has Italian thin crust pizza, which is what we had on day 1. Very good. Now, if you've been on the Wonder of the Seas, this Giovanni's is actually located where Wonderland was on the Wonder. So it does overlook the boardwalk. And this particular setup actually has a couple of tables that are outside on a deck. As you can see, it is 2 levels, but there are elevators. So don't worry if you're not able to traverse the stairway.
Thank you.
And they do have elevators for you. There are lots of areas to sit up here for a nice drink if you want some wine only. And of course, you can get reservations to have the full meal downstairs. So this is the only venue on deck 12. Everything else are staterooms. All right, deck 9 is mainly staterooms as well, but at the rear of the ship is access to the upper level of the music hall. Let's go take a look. All right, located, as we just mentioned, on deck 9, but I am now at the deck 8 entrance, is the music hall. So the music hall has plenty of seating. It has a dance floor, and it opens up to the main stage. And this is where you can catch live music throughout the cruise. We actually were able to catch an awesome jazz session last night. It was amazing. And again, you have the upper deck, so plenty of seating that overlooks the stage. Great acoustics here. And of course, you're gonna have your lower bar, and there is an upper bar. Plus, on the upper deck, there is a pool table located here as well. So if you're gotta hunker in for some live music, go ahead and stop on by the music hall. All right, also on deck 8 is Central Park. So this is designed, as you might think, after Central Park in New York. Every single one of these plants are live. So they have dedicated arborists on board to keep everything nice and pruned for you. And this is kind of, in my mind, designed with that upscale New York vibe. This is where all of your steakhouses are. So as you enter from midship, you have 150 Central Park elevated steakhouse on one side, and you have Chops Steakhouse on the other side. And then in the middle, you have the Rising Tide Bar. This is the unique bar that goes up and down 2 decks between deck 6, Promenade, and deck 8. Now inside Chops, as we mentioned before, it is their steakhouse, and it is a very nice location to eat. One of our favorites. The filet mignon is to die for. They also have colossal shrimp, and they have a pork belly that's basically a big old piece of bacon that just melts in your mouth with a little bit of barbecue sauce. And also, as if you need anything else, they have pretzel bread with butter. Oh my goodness. But Chops, again, is one of your elevated upcharge steakhouses. Usually goes for about $60 a person, full price. But if you keep an eye, you'll see discounts throughout the year leading up. Definitely a nice place to come and have great steak dinner. Now, 150 Central Park is an even higher elevated dining experience than Chops. They have a famous tableside preparation of a Caesar salad. Also, if you get the steak for 2, they will come and cut it tableside for you, as long as it's the same temperature. They also have a spectacular house cucumber martini that is to die for. So again, this is a elevated dining experience, even higher than Chops. You have to come try the bread. It is so light and fluffy and delicious. So 150 Central Park. And as we mentioned, this is the Rising Tide Bar. Goes up and down 2 decks every 15 to 20 minutes once it officially opens later on tonight. Now, as you continue down Central Park, you'll see there's lots of seating, lots of greenery. There is another bar here called the Trellis Bar, and they do not lack for drinks on this ship for sure. And throughout Central Park, you will see scatterings of, in this case, animals. We have the giraffe. On the other side, we have a hippopotamus that's back is to us. There's an elephant. And they do pipe in sounds. So during the day, you have some bird chirps, and at night, they pop in crickets. Now, also up here is the Park Cafe, and the Park Cafe is a complimentary location. You can get breakfast here, you can get lunch here. We usually have things like roast beef and omelets, things along that line. Now, opposite the Park Cafe is Izumi. Now, in this particular one, they have something called Izumi in the Park, which is actually walk-up. So you can get your sushi here, as well as a few hot items. Now, on the Wonder, this is actually where Giovanni's was located. So again, this has been replaced the entire side with Izumi's. All right, also on deck 8, as we mentioned outside, is the Izumi's Hibachi. So there's actually a couple of different options in this Izumi's. As you just saw, you have regular tableside service, and then you have your sushi counter service. And the table service and sushi is included in the unlimited plan with no additional cost. And as we continue down, we have the tableside hibachi service. Now, this is an upcharge even with the unlimited dining plan. It's usually an extra $15 a person. And as you can see here, they have multiple tables set up where you are entertained with your chef, tossing things around, making anaconda egg snakes, tossing chickens around, having just a good old time. So I highly recommend doing the hibachi if you've ever wondered what it's like with that interactive. The only thing you do not get at sea is actually the fire that you see a lot of times on the shore side, because fire in cruise ships, not a good thing, but they still do a steam volcano. The collection, then some upscale jewelry items. Since we are at a port right now, It is currently closed, but you do have some upscale shopping. On the Wonder, you have astronauts everywhere. On the Utopia, you'll have your crazy monkeys scattered throughout the ship. So keep an eye out. All right, at the rear of the ship on deck 6 is your Aqua Theater. So this is a great new entertaining venue on the Oasis class ships. Acrobatics, swimming, diving. It is really an amazing show. Also back here, you have the rock climbing walls on both sides. We got another little monkey here for the Utopia. And this is the termination point for the ultimate Abyss slide. As we continue making our way back on the boardwalk, there are some play areas here for the kids. Next up is Playmakers, the sports bar. This is a great place to come hang out, get some wings, watch some games. It definitely gets packed when the games start later in the day. This one does run pretty much the entire length of the boardwalk though, so there are lots of places to sit. However, it's important to note a lot of the tables are high tops. There's only a few tables and a few booths. Now, right across from Playmakers is Johnny Rockets. So special note, breakfast is actually included. It's just lunch and dinner that is an additional cost. And that is not included in your unlimited dining plan. But the milkshakes are included in your refreshment plan. As we continue up, there is the kids shop. Again, everything geared towards the younger age. And there is Sugar Beach, which is their candy store. And at the beginning of the boardwalk, you have the Carousel, a very cool little ride, and it is complimentary. As we continue moving towards the middle of the ship, you do have the Doghouse, again, a complimentary food option. Lots of different hot dogs and bratwurst, fresh buns, top it off with sauerkraut and onions, the whole 9 yards. And no boardwalk would be complete without boardwalk games. Skee ball, basketball, and of course, Zolta. All right, let's continue heading towards midship. Now we do have our little bridge that leads us towards midship. On our right-hand side is the shore excursion desk. You have iPads here that you can book excursions, and there's generally going to be someone there to help you a little bit later in the day. Right up from the excursions is Focus, the photo gallery, where again, you can look at the iPads and look and order your pictures. Now on the left-hand side, we have the Crown and Anchor Society for past guests who want to interact with the concierge, check your Crown and Anchor statuses, or ask about benefits. Now on every Royal Caribbean ship, you have the Schooner Bar. This is a nautically themed bar that again is a staple on every Royal Caribbean ship. The Schooner Bar is also where they generally hold all of their trivia. So this one's super nice, and it overlooks the Promenade. So you can get here early, get a seat, and watch some of the shenanigans that they do throughout the cruise in the Promenade area. Here in the forward area, they have a really cool setup that looks awesome at night of manatees. Different colors that are suspended along the glass elevators. Really cool effect. All right, on deck 6 forward you have the Vitality at Sea, which is the spa and fitness center. So if you are looking to either work out or pamper yourself, you have come to the right place. So here at the spa, you've got everything from nails to hair to petties and to here.
The acupuncture guy.
He's the acupuncture guy.
Any back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, stress, insomnia, weight loss, everything.
There you go, guys.
Okay.
So if you want to get acupuncture with pain, come here. Dr. Chen, you have to come to Dr. Chen, everybody.
Right.
Excellent. This is where you can check in for your salon appointments.
That is Paulina.
And Paulina. Hello. You guys are all going to be famous.
Welcome to
Yes.
spa.
There you go. There you go. Welcome to the spa, everyone.
Spa, Vitality Spa.
You have two awesome ladies that'll check you in. And of course, in the back are the treatment rooms and then the workout facility, which we'll take a look at here in a moment. So in all honesty, this ship is so big that just walking around does it for me as far as exercise goes. But if you want to take it that next step, they have plenty of treadmills, recumbent bikes, ellipticals, there's Stairmasters. You've got weight systems here. We have a yoga area. You also have a jogging track that we will take you to on deck 5. They also have free weights. So pretty much everything you could possibly need for your workout. So if you're looking to stay in shape, then go ahead and head on to the Vitality Spa and Fitness Center. So down here on deck 5, there is a walking track that wraps the entire deck. So as you can see here, it does wrap around and again goes pretty much the entire length of the ship with a few areas that it cuts short. There's also a little nestled sneaky area to sit here and get away from the crowds. So you could pop down here. And you do have the breakdown on the laps. So 1 mile would be 2.4 laps around the ship. All right. So at the front of the ship, you have the Royal Theater. Let's go in and take a look. All right, also on deck 4 and deck 5 is the Royal Theater. All right, welcome to the heartbeat of the ship, deck 5, the Promenade. So what we have is an official Starbucks. Now it's important to note this particular Starbucks is not included with your unlimited drink package. I don't understand why. It's the same exact coffee they will sell you down at the Promenade Cafe. But for whatever reason, this is the official licensed Starbucks and it will cost extra. Now on the left side, we have Boleros. Now Boleros is a bar and nightclub that boasts Latin beats. So throughout the evening, you will have live Latin music that you can come in here, get your dance on, while having a nice drink. And each Bolero has its little front end car seat. Now, right across from Boleros is the Spotlight Karaoke. Utopia has a specific venue for karaoke. They also use it throughout the day for other events. So right now, they are doing some trivia. Again, good place for you to get a drink. And later in the day, you can enjoy good karaoke. As we continue down the promenade, there are lots of little shops that are open throughout the cruise in the center with specials and deals. You do have the Royal Caribbean logo stores. This one is Utopia specific, so everything you have in here will mainly have Utopia written on it. Across from the logo store is Solarium, which is your shop for all of your makeup and fragrances. Continuing on is your port merchants from Royal Caribbean. This is the location you go for your booze and cigarettes. Tax and duty free, of course. It has a wide variety of options, and for your liquor, they will hold it and deliver it to you the last night of the cruise. As we continue moving on, you do have the Bell and Barley, which is an English style pub. Again, you can come in here for a nice drink, relaxing atmosphere. And in the evenings, they generally have a live person playing guitar. Continuing on is the ever popular Sorrento's Pizza. Complimentary, of course. Available almost 24/7. Very nice thin crust, crispy pizzas. Give it a try, Sorrento. Moving on, we have the accessory place, which, as you might have guessed, are accessories, ladies. Come get yourself a purse, a scarf, whatever you need. As we continue on, you have your Cafe Promenade. So this is where you can get your Starbucks without having to pay extra if you have the beverage package. It also has the free coffee here. So let's go up closer and take a look. So taking a closer look, as we've seen with some of our other decks, all of these are those touch-free dispensers. You've got your lemonade, apple juice, orange juice, and iced tea. And they also do the same thing for the free coffee and creamers. So you just grab your cup, put it down, wave your hand in front of it until it fills up. They also have complimentary food up here. And again, you can still get your Starbucks, and this Starbucks is part of your either deluxe beverage package or refreshment package. Figured as much.
Right across from the Cafe Promenade, you will find Next Cruise, which is where you can go to gasp, book your next cruise. Now, this is a great option because generally when you book on board, you will qualify for some onboard credits, and that cost varies depending on the category you book and how long the cruise is. The other good thing is you can still take advantage of booking on board for the onboard credits and provide your travel agent information to them while you're booking, or transfer the booking once you're back from your trip. Generally, you need to do it within 30 days, but double check the cruise line specifics. Get with your travel agent as soon as possible if you did not provide it to them when you booked your next trip. Now, if you are looking for some assistance, Melinda and I both are affiliated with Expedia Cruises, so we will be more than happy to help you book your next trip or manage a trip you've already booked on board. So make sure you reach out to us below. We might even be able to give you some Expedia exclusives while preserving the onboard credit you got while booking online. So here you go, Next Cruise. Let's get you on a ship.
Now, no matter what cruise line you're on, if you love jewelry, then I am sure you've taken a look at Effie. These are on almost every cruise line out there. High-end jewelry, very nice selection. We've actually gotten a few things from Mel over the years. Next up is guest services in the Promenade.
This is where you can go to discuss things like
billing mistakes or an issue with something going on with your room. or help with a multitude of other items. So guest services. And also a hint, try to avoid guest services on day one because it is usually packed. All right up from guest services is Regalia Fine Watches. Again, name is self-explanatory. You can get watches. Also in the main promenade, you have a VOOM Internet at Sea help desk. Should you need help with connectivity or a problem with your phones not connecting appropriately, you can come up here and they will give you a hand. There is also a port shopping desk that's available with someone to answer questions. Also, they generally will have flyers and pamphlets and deals for you at each port of call. Now, a new venue on the Utopia is the Pesky Parrot. It is another tropical themed bar. And there he is. On the Utopia, we have Brian. Well, hello, Brian. Do you want to say anything today?
What's the best drink on the menu? My answer is always the same. The next one.
Very cool motif. And this is similar to my college days. Go Jacksonville State University in Alabama. I'm talking about Jefferson's. You can get a dollar bill and write and decorate it and then tape it to the wall. Leave your mark here on the Utopia. They also have a lot of good concoctions and specialty drinks that you can only get here at the Pesky Parrot. So stop on by, say hi to Brian, and wet your whistle. Finally, on deck 5 is the top level of the main dining room. It has a very nice entranceway with multiple desks,
where the maitre d's will be happy to assist with your dining needs.
So this is a 3-story dining venue, and you will have options from anytime dining, where you can dine anytime, to early seating to late seating. It just depends on your style. I can tell you, when the Your Time Dining, Anytime Dining first started, Melinda and I jumped at that opportunity to be more flexible because you could see different things at port, versus having that assigned dining that you felt a little rushed sometimes. But as the years have moved on, we're actually starting to go back to a set dining time because the Your Time Dining is so popular, it feels like a fast turn and burn restaurant. They try to give you personalized service, but it does feel rushed since they're trying to clear that table like a normal restaurant to sit the next group. Whereas if you have your firm dining, whether it's early or late, it does feel like a more laid back, relaxed experience since that table is yours for that entire dining experience. But the dining rooms are beautiful. So again, as I mentioned earlier, there are 3 levels to the dining room. However, we will not go back in there since we've already seen the levels. We are, however, going to walk over here. Again, this is deck 4, the Utopia Station. So this is the hot commodity, which is the new Royal Railway. As of right now, we are on the waiting list. I'm not sure if we'll make it because with the unlimited dining, you cannot book until you're on the ship. And this is so popular, it was sold out probably 2 months, 3 months even before the trip. But pro note, if you agree to sit with others when you're put on the waiting list, you have a higher chance of getting called if there are cancellations. But this is an interactive 90-minute kind of dinner show, if you will.
Here's a sneak peek. Depending on when you're watching this tour, the vlog may or may not be out. So just keep your eyes peeled, take a look at our homepage, and you can see the entire experience. It really was fun.
And no cruise ship would be complete, except Disney, without a casino. Since we are at port, the casino is closed, so I am able to do some filming in here for you guys. There are multiple bars. You have tons and tons of slot machines. You do have table games, so you're going to have your blackjack, your craps, roulette, Texas Hold'em, among others. Also, there is a high roller area here in the center. You'll see a little cage area, and that is your high roller area. Now, this is the main casino that would have smoking permitted while playing at certain slots, and there is another casino that is completely smoke-free. As we exit the casino and we head towards the front of the ship, you will pass Park West. That is for your artwork. They usually do auctions, also just regular sales, and they generally will have something for everyone's taste and budget, from a few $100s to a few $1,000. Or sell your firstborn. Next up is Studio B. This is a multi-purpose room, mainly used for the ice skating shows, but they also will do some free skating as well as laser tag. So right now, this is actually set up for laser tag. It's a really cool area. We've done laser tag before. It is super fun. But again, this is Studio B. Next up, we have the attic, which is the comedy club. So we have the central stage where the comedian is, and then you have plenty of seats scattered throughout the entire venue. Of course, there's a bar. And there is actually some seating that wraps around to the back. Not a clear view of the live stage, but it looks like there is a TV back here that they would project the comedian on stage for you. A very, very popular venue. Sometimes you need reservations, and if there are no reservations, then you need to get here super early. So if you're in for a funny bone, come on to the attic. Right across from the attic is the Crown Lounge. Now this is available for diamond level and above Crown and Anchor Society. You just scan your badge and it will let you in. So this is open pretty much all day with a happy hour between 5 and 7. However, if you get alcoholic beverages during that timeline, you do use your dedicated drinks. They are not complimentary. And you will have a concierge here. And throughout the day, there will be different snacks available to you. Right now, since we are kind of the middle of the day, it looks like it's just some cookies and fruit. But in the morning, you'll have a continental breakfast. In the evenings, you'll have some hors d'oeuvres. You do have access to a coffee machine down here as well. A nice place to come and chill out and hang and mingle with other past guests. And as we mentioned earlier, we do have the smoke-free casino. Very minimal area. You have a roulette table, a blackjack table, and it looks like a poker table with a few slots. So not a huge area, but if you are looking for some smoke-free play, then you do have an option. And this is right up from the Crown Lounge and the attic, right before you get to the main theater. All right, down here at the front of the ship on deck 3 is the conference center. So if you're here for some kind of conference, you can make it here. And actually on this particular voyage, there is a Royal Caribbean conference going on with Royal Caribbean employees. So we have seen them around the ship quite a bit. So again, conference center is forward deck 3. And as we talked about, on deck 3 is again another entrance to the main dining room. So again, the dining room can be accessed from 3, 4, and 5, just depending on what kind of dinner reservations you have, whether it's my time dining, early dining, or late seating. All right, let's go down and finish up the ship tour with deck 2 and the medical center. All right. And finishing things off down here on deck 2 is the medical center. As you can see here, they're open 8 to 11, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. They have doctor's hours, but of course, if you are in dire need of emergency, you can dial 911 and they will report to wherever you are. So normally, right behind this door is where you'll find your medical needs, including Dramamine or something like that for motion sickness, Band-Aids, as well as almost a complete medical center. All right, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the ship tour. It's definitely a cool ship with a lot to do.
Yes, we took over half a day exploring it. There's a lot to do, and we barely went into everything and drilled down to everything. So we went and touched base on almost every single floor.
Yep, and like we said, it's definitely a lot to do, a lot to experience. So a 3 or 4 day cruise, you probably will not be able to fully experience everything, but it definitely whets your appetite if you're wondering what a mega ship is like and you're not really sure if you'll enjoy the cruising or the experience of this big of a ship. So it's actually perfect for that. So again, thank you guys. Make sure before you head out, you hit that like, subscribe, and notify. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really does help out the channel. And if you do want to take that next step, click the join button below. Take a look at all the cool perks that you get if you do want to move forward with supporting the channel. And if you do, thank you. As always, we'll see you next time on
The Scenic Route.
Bye, everyone.